Siman Kuf Test. This is on page Taf Kuf Lamed Hey. And we got down to, we're supposed to be starting number Lamed Ches in the small print. I'm going to bring my camera down lower. And, okay, so we're going to find that number Lamed Ches. Where is that Lamed Ches? I have a Lamed Zion. The Lamed Ches is on the Yud Beis Shaus Alayla, the Elef Ashvi, indicating that there's a day and there's a nighttime. It's the third beer. I'm just reading from that place, and then I'll drop down to number Lamed Ches. It says beer Gimel. This is the third explanation. Yesh l'tzad l'chora b'divrei alikutim hamubu b'beer agroa. So this is something that Groa brings. And then we get over to number Lamed Ches. Let's see if we can look at this more carefully and see if we can understand it. So it says like this. Reba B'Likutim, he said, Vazel Dashano, Tomer Devarim, he says, Ki Yud Beis Tikunim Heim Neged Yud Beis Shaus. Now, the thing that I'm trying to track is trying to understand what's pshat in the word Shaus. V'hein Yud Beis Shaus Halayla. But specifically, the Tikunim have to do with the 12 hours of the night. That's another question here is what are the 12 Tikunim? Okay, so, and it could be that they're actually, as I've seen in other places, but I'm not sure, but it's not saying it exactly, that they refer to the male-female aspects of the Tikkunim of the Rosh, which are 6, not counting Malchus, which would be then the 13th. But that would be me making that up without seeing it any place specifically. Mazel Yud Gimel Hu Neged the Yud Beis Shaus Hayom. It's this third mazel, that is the 13th mazel, which is the incorporation of all of the mazlos. He says it corresponds to the other 12. Ki kol elef hu yom v'layla. So how this goes together, I'm not sure, but he says that this every 1,000 is a concept of a day and a night. He said, call yom, just like any of the 6,000 days that you had a yom Mesheshes Alofim, of those 6,000. Mesheshes Shemei Bereshis, and it starts there. Each one of them, as we had learned, another concept of a day to 1,000. Shekasa vihi erev vihi boker, we have that phrase. But when we talk about the 7th millennium, Ein Bohu Yom V'Layla, it doesn't have that concept. Yom Alku Lo Yihya, or like on that day there won't be light, etc. He says Lo Yom V'Lo Layla, not day, not night. It's not either. So I guess that if you have a concept called day, you have a concept called night. But over here he says that you're not dealing with day and night, so therefore, if you don't have one, you don't have the other. They go together. Lo Yom V'Lo Layla. But even so, there is a time difference. There is a timing of 12 hours a Yom V'Lo Layla, l'chem nechshav l'elef, so therefore it's considered to be 1,000. Now, there's more to that, I guess. Ad Khan, I'm not sure what that last part meant. Therefore, because we have 12 hours, and then 12, maybe it means 12 hours and 12 hours. I'm not sure what he means. Amnam rei masha kasadna of od b'ha'aras lebir amashulav sham. So there's more over there. So he says shenirach the lawyer. So it looks like what we want to do here is explain kavanas divrich halukudim ba'ofen acher. Let's explain it another way. Now, all of these words that we saw over there have to do with inyanim that are not presently explained or clear to me. So he says, "Levayer kavanas divrich halukudim ba'ofen acher." These are v'hu sheyesh beis bechinas be'inyan yud beis shaus. So now, since we're talking about yud beis shaus, he says there's two different aspects of understanding them. So he says, what is that? He says, bechinas yom zman dahainu. That is, there's one. He says number aleph. One is the bechinas zman. The Haider should call Elef Shana, that the whole 1,000-year concept is Nechshav Yom Echad. It's considered to be one day. Sheyesh B'Yud B'Yud Shaus, and that day has 12 hours of the day of Yom. B'Yud Shaus Lilo, and 12 hours of the nighttime. In this pace, that's one way to look at it. So Hamalchus HaNikra, so it's also called Malchus. Malchus is called Shah. Now, it could be, my drush on that was that Shah is double 185s. It's two Kales. And they flow into that Shinai, that's more than 370. And then they flow into Malchus, which is the K. So maybe that's a way that I could understand this. So he said, this is the secret of Malchus, and another name for Malchus is Shah. The Shah is Lashon time. And we're talking here about 12 Shaus. So he said previously in another drush that it's really the milui of the word Adni, which has 12 different parts to it. Maybe that's it. She has that concept. But the Malchus itself has two bechinas. Yud Bei Shaus. Yud Bei Shaus Yom, Yud Bei Shaus Laila. Okay, all of this drush explaining how we could use the words. Ki Elef Hashvi, because when you talk over here about the seventh millennia, shall a churban of the churban, that is the time when the anhaga of this world stops. Whoso Yud Bei Shaul Salila Shal Hamalchus. So the whole idea here of the seventh millennia is the 12 hours of the night. That refer to Malchus, that is 12 life of the night of Malchus. V'achar kach be'elef hashmini, then you come to the eighth one, Shal Chiddush, that's when the world will be renewed, v'tikun, and become the ultimate tikun, hu b'bechinas Yud Bei Shaul Yom, that's the concept of the daytime, Shal Malchus, so the seventh millennium versus the eighth. Mikol Mak, but in any case, he says, Mitzad bechinas hazman yesh bo be'elef hashvi. So with the concept of time, though, time concept is still referring to the seventh millennium. Levad shir Yud Bei Shaus Yom Yud Bei Shaus Laila. Besides the 12 hours of the day, 12 hours of the night. But l'chein nechshav le'elef shana. So therefore, it's considered as if it's 1,000 years. Now, I don't really quite get that. I'd like to read it again from the place where it says, V'achar kach, be'elef hashmini, shall chiddush, that's the time of the tikun, hu be'bechinas Yud Bei Shaul. So he says that the eighth millennia is going to be the concept 12 hours, but those are the 12 hours of the daytime, shal hamalchus. So since he's using the word shaus, or shaus has to do with time, time is the whole thing with human beings. Human beings are concerned about time. I am. Everybody is all the time. Mekal Makam, in any case, mitzad bechinas hazman, besides the type of time, there's time. Yesh gam be'elef hashvi levad shir Yud Bei Shaus v'yom v'shud Beis Malchus Laila. So he says in that seventh millennia, there's a concept of 12. Besides the concept of time, there's a concept of the Yud Bei Shaus, the Yud Beis hours of day and night. So therefore it's considered to be 1,000 years. I don't see how that goes together. You can look into that and you'll see that. He said, so it comes out as a concept of 24 hours, and those hours refer to a concept of day and night time, mitzad hazman, from the side of time. To me, this is all still very vague. So there are also those that say that when you talk about nighttime, you're talking about Malchus. So then that comes out good. He said, okay, so a lot of information there, but I don't see exactly how 1,000 goes along with 12 or 24. I'm not sure. Last little piece. So whatever is written over here should be called Elef Shana Yesh Shir Zman, that in every 1,000 there's a measurement of time. Lila, so Zaman Lila, Viyom You have both of these. Shehem Kad Showers, which are 24 hours. V'rei Be'adir B'maram, look over there. Ha'amuvel L'cholon, which we have later on. Shabir the Bekal Elef Shana Yesh Rak Yud Be Shal Sayom, that there he says that there are only 12 hours of the day. Ayin Sham, time of B'melsa. V'rei B'aras L'cholon, so we're going to get into this a little bit more as we go along. He says Sham Ma Shahuva Be'inyan Zeb B'Shem Perik Pirkei the Rebbe Eliezer. He says V'Chazoer Ramban. Are we out of time?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, so let's read from Lamed Ches on the top part, and we'll read over to the next one in this amount of time. So we'll just read from number Gimel. Bir Gimel Yesh Tzad L'Chayred B'Divich HaLikutim HaBir that was brought over there in the Bir of Raw. He said V'hu, and that is what? V'hu Shachatzitz Shachetzio Harishon Shal Elef Hashni, where over there it says that the first half of the 7th millennia, Nikra Tracer Shasi, they're called 12 hours. Shehem Yud Bei Shaus Alayla, which are the 12 hours of the nighttime. Ve'inyan Huki Kol Elef Shana Mischalik L'Shnei Chalokim. All that is divided into two. He says, which are Laila V'Yom. Shehem Kad Shaus. V'Churban now Yihya B'Chetzi HaRishon will be in the first half. Shal Elef HaShvi. Shehem Yud Bei Shaus. So the Churban takes place in the first part of that split, which is the daytime part, or nighttime part, which is the Yud Bei Shaus Rishonos, Shal B'Chinas Laila, which refer to the nighttime. And there's a little bit, we still have more time. We could look at this one little thing on Lamed Tes. He says, okay, is now, Matzanu Bibir Noisid B'Sof Sefer Itra Tavis Svi, Sham, and he says like this, Shabir Khan, the Hafshabakal Elef Shana, that even though you say that Yesh Kad Shaus, that we said there's 24 hours, whatever that means, in the 7th millennia, Shal Laila B'Yom, but in the 7th millennia, he says, Yesh Rak Yud Bei Shaus, there is only 12. This is the Lashon, I guess, of the Ramak. But Tracer Shadi Hu Yom HaCherev. So the 12 hours is the day of destruction, of elimination. Ka'amr Zal, this Rabbi said, V'chad Charav. Going back to that pasuk again. One of the thousands will be destroyed, will be destruction or empty, wasted. So it's a time where it's not day, it's not night. Bavadai ein bo ki im yud bei shaus ad kan, so there it's only 12 hours. Okay, that's it for this part. We'll see it on the back. We're on number Dalet. Yud bei shaus yom shir aleph. So the question is what the shaus have to do with 1,000? Bir Dalet. Rei bei adir v'maram. He said the call aleph should be yesh bo tracer shasi. So you would divide it, the 1,000 by 12. Shuhu shir elef shalom, which makes it, each one of the 12s makes it 100, a complete elef. Ki b'kol elef shana yesh rak b'chinas yud bei shal siyom, so that it could be divided onto this 12 hours of the day. And there's a note there. So he says, and then v'so the Indian, who the secret of this, a klalos shivas alaf shana, the general idea there. Shana. He says, "Hem shlitish sheva tikuni gegolta b'han chaga shel yud beis tikuni dekna." So you have the gegolta, those tikunim, going into the dikna, which is the 12. Now that could be the 12 that he's been talking about all along. Maybe that's just simple idea. So it's the sheva going from the face or the skull into the dikna. Hem Sheva Yamim Shal Yud Bei Shao. So that's how we have to look at that again. 7 days of 12 hours, because we'll have to see how that works. So this concept is 6,000 years. Hem Shisha Yamim Shal Yud Bei Shao. It's also 6 days of 12 hours. Substitute words of kinuyim are metaphors in some way. Ve'elef Hashvi hu Yom Hashvi sheyud be'shval shaul. So it's the seventh day of the 12-hour period. We had some division before about the name Adni. I don't know if that would work over here. Ba'ayin Sham Barichos. There's a lot to be said about this. That's it for today then. Thank you so much. And you want to forget about tomorrow on the back end?
Yeah.
Okay. It's too hard to get back for 4 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Call to.